guys, so this tutorial is supposed to be kind of my own version of genderbent Cruello De Vil. Now if you've been watching my channel for a little while, then you've kind of noticed that I haven't body painted anything in a little over 3 weeks, I think. But I thought this would be perfect to start off the brand new year. Hope everybody had a wonderful New Year's Eve, wonderful holiday, and also hope that you guys are having a wonderful back to school if you guys are still going to school. So today, as you can see, I bring you this genderbent version of Cruello De Vil. I wanted to do something sort of glamorous, but at the same time keeping it masculine. So I tried to kind of stay away from using lashes. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, this is actually a full like beat face tutorial. I have eyeshadow, body paint, I have a highlighter. Literally, I have just about everything on my face right now. I apologize if my skin is really rough right now. Because it's the winter season, it does get really dry and patchy, especially around this area. So you will see me going back and forth trying to fix that. But you know, new skincare routine, here I come. But there really isn't a lot to say about this look, except if you want to see how I did it, then all you gotta do is just keep on watching. As per usual, the first thing to do is to sketch out the character's features, so I'm taking a white eyeliner pencil and I'm sketching out the shirt, vest, tie, and the fur coat. Then taking Mehron Paradise paint in white and filling in the shirt. Now, with any type of white body paint, you might want to do a couple of coats of the paint to get it as opaque as possible, so wait until the first layer dries before you add another one on top of it. Then I'm taking black Paradise paint and filling in the vest. Also, all the brushes I'm using will be listed down below, just FYI. Using dark red to fill in the bow tie, and then mixing white, brown, and then yellow to fill in the fur coat. Now starting off with a layer of white and then mixing yellow and brown on top of it to make it kind of like an off-white color, so once we add all the fur texture, it actually stands out. Then using the Morphe 35C palette, I'm using the dark gray shades to sketch out all the shadows, and then with a fluffy brush and some more shadow, I'm creating the shadows casted by the color on the shirt. Also using a little bit of black to intensify if necessary. Then drawing the shadows on the bow tie while looking at a reference picture to see how the fabric folds. Moving on to creating the shadows that will be casted by the vest and the tie on the shirt using the same gray and black shadows, as well as shade the color. Now we're going to create highlights by first drawing a white line on the edge of the vest, and then I'm using the brush that I use with the black paint, and I'm placing it on top of the white line and then dragging it all the way through to diffuse the line. Now if you've seen all my tutorials, then this is practically the exact same step I use to highlight fabric. Then with plain white and a fine tip brush, I'm drawing more intense highlights to make the clothing stand out as much as possible. I went pretty heavy-handed with the highlights on the bow tie because depending on the type of fabric that you decide to draw on, it will catch the light differently, so the bow tie in here is actually a little bit more silky, so I went with really stark white highlights. Using pretty much the exact same techniques to this time draw the buttons on the vest. Because it's hard to draw shadows on black, we're going to actually do the complete opposite and actually highlight, but we're going to create a highlight a centimeter away from the buttons and then fade it away to create the illusion of a shadow. Also making some wrinkles in the fabric following the exact same highlight and shadow techniques. For the fur coat, I first went in with brown eyeshadow and a fluffy brush to create dimension and intensify with black afterwards. As you can see, I already did one side to kind of give you an idea on what's going on, and so now moving on to the other side, I'm taking this bristle disposable brush with white and I'm flicking it on the edges of the fur coat to create the fur texture. Then moving on to pretty much filling in the whole section bit by bit. With black, I'm creating the animal print spots on the coat. Now, I am aware that her actual coat does not have spots. I might just say before you come for me for that, but it was too plain for me, so I couldn't help myself. With the white and a small fine tip brush, I'm creating more fur on the edges and then add random stark hairs throughout the coat. Then pretty much repeating the exact same steps for the rest of the coat. If it wasn't already a surprise, I'm going to add more detail using Graftobian's gold metallic powder and a bit of mixing medium to create a paint, and then I'm drawing these lines on the edges of the vest and diagonal ones on the tie. Plus, I feel like it makes it look a little bit more fancy with a bit of gold. I'm gonna start by priming the face using the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm. I've actually been using this as a primer lately, and my honest opinion about it would be that in general I can see where some people might actually like it as a primer because it does pretty much create a very tacky base for the foundation to lay on top of. However, I don't think it's gonna suit for some people in general, and this really does help hydrate the skin as well. And for my T-zone, because I do get really oily there, I'm going to be using the Professional Primer by Benefit. Because I want absolute coverage with this, I'm going to be using one last primer. I actually got a sample of the Smashbox silicone primer, and I'm going to be using that along the T-zone, but just mainly in these parts where I do get kind of dry skin. And I'm just going to be smoothing it out. I'm not going to be using a lot whatsoever. And for my foundation today, I'm going to be using two foundations actually. The first one I'm going to be using is the Infallible Pro Matte Foundation by L'Oreal. And this is in the shade Caramel Beige. And I'm going to take the Infallible Pro Matte Foundation and I'm going to use that mainly on the T-zone of my face. The main reason why is because in here I do tend to get really oily, so I kind of want this area to have a fuller coverage. I'm going to be blending it out using my Real Techniques complexion sponge. And for the rest of the face, I'm going to be using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC42 just because it has a lot fuller coverage and I want this look to be pretty flawless. Like, I know for a fact it's not going to be 100% flawless because my skin today is just not up for it, but we're going to make it work. Remember to also blend the foundations down your neck and in the ears. Now for concealer today, I'm going to be using the Maybelline New York Sand Sable Concealer. And I'm going to be placing this basically underneath the eye. And I'm going to be pretty heavy-handed with this considering the fact that I want this look not to only be flawless, but I kind of want to change some of the features. I want to make my face look a little bit more angular, so I'm pulling the concealer up a little bit and then dragging it down. And then I'm gonna set my under eye very quickly just so that it doesn't crease. And then to contour, I'm gonna be using this contour cream by Graftobian in the shade Pecan. I think it's a little bit too dark, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it with a little bit of my foundation to kind of lighten it up a little bit. And I'm pretty much just going to sculpt my face because come through surgery. I don't want to go for that I've had plastic surgery kind of look, so I'm going to go pretty heavy-handed with this contour. And then I'm just blending it out using my complexion sponge. To set my face, I will be using the Airspun Coty Powder, and this is in the shade Naturally Neutral. Not sure that's all the shades out there, but I know that they're like, at least to me, they're like 3 different kinds of shades. This one has more of a yellow undertone, which is perfect for my skin tone, and I'ma just set my face. Now we're going to move on to the brows. So normally I would kind of do a brow shade that's close enough to my brow color. However, since this is Cruello De Vil, I'm going to go with full black. So if you're going to do this, be very careful. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of the concealer on my Morphe angled brush and I am going to pretty much carve under the brow. We're going to drag that concealer down and use it as an eyeshadow base. So my battery died. I am so sorry about that. I did one eye off camera just to save some time, and now I'm going to show you guys how to do it on this eye. So first and foremost, I'm taking the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette And I'm taking the shade Raw Sienna, and I'm going to use this as my transition shade. I'm going to use the exact same brush that comes in the palette to blend this into my crease. And to darken up the crease, I'm going to use the shade Cypress Umber. I'm going to use the NYX Cosmetics ME3 brush to do so. And I'm sort of pulling it up to give more of an angled eye illusion, which makes the eye look a little bit more evil. For the star of the show, which is the green eyeshadow, I'm actually going to be using a loose pigment from NYX Cosmetics in the shade Kryptonite, which is a lovely, very, very gorgeous shimmery green. And I'm running the NYX's Jumbo Pencil in Milk on my eyelid just because I want a very sticky base so that the loose pigment has something to stick on once I, put it on my eyelid. I do want to intensify the outer corner a little bit, so for that I'm going to use a fluffy pencil brush from Morphe with a little bit of black eyeshadow and just hit the outer corner with this. Now I'm taking the shade Red Ochre and I'm going to use this for the bottom lash line, and I'm taking that on an e.l.f. angle brush. I feel like the red is a very good contrast for the green, and also reds do tend to make the eyes look very kind of like sick and revolting in a way, which I feel like it's perfect for this kind of character. Because remember, this is Cruello De Vil, so he's not a very nice person, let's just say. Now I'm going to take Black Bean by NYX Cosmetics and going to apply this all over the waterline. And then taking a black eyeshadow and just smudging it with the red. For my brow highlight, I'm going to be taking the color Tempera from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. And then hit the outer corner using Vermeer from the exact same palette. So now I'm going to take the NYX's Contour Kit and I'm going to use this to basically sculpt and bronze off my face. I'm going to use the bottom shade right here, which you can see I've already hit pan. And I'm going to basically use this to contour and kind of bronze out my face because it actually does seem kind of like a very bronzy color. And right on the tip of the nose, I'm actually going to be using a highlighter. I'm going to be using the Becca Champagne Pop Highlight. And I highlight a little bit right at the top of the cheeks. Actually, I kind of want to do something a little bit strange with this highlight, so I'm going to be taking Pink Heart by Anastasia. This is the Anastasia Moonchild Glow Kit, and I'm just going to apply that right on top of Champagne Pop, and ooh, I like this. So now I'm going to move on to a part that I really enjoy doing a lot in most of my characters. I don't know why I love this, but I'm going to draw on a beard. I just feel like a man whenever I have a beard on. So I'm just going to take Black Paradise paint and I'm going to start drawing or sketching on my beard, should I say. Yeah. Okay, so I know it looks rough. For now, it's a rough sketch of it because I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different to blend it out later. Or actually right now. Now I'm going to move on to making the iconic half white, half black Cruello De Vil hair. And for that I'm going to be using my airbrush gun and my Paradise paints. What I like to do whenever I am airbrushing my hair, I just take a whole lot of water and just spray it on my Paradise paints until it turns into a liquid basically. And I'm going to start off with a white side first. Once done with the hair, I moved on to creating the hair texture on both sides of the beard using various shades of gray paint and then highlight with a bit of white before finishing off with Pinky Rose Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Queen. So that is it for this Cruello De Vil makeup look. Now I really hope that you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you want to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, the links will be down below, as well as the list of products that I used in this video. So I really hope to see you next time, and bye!